Now, we are aware about the ongoing efforts by your organization to strengthen citizens' resolve or resistance against the prevalence of corruption. What's the forum all about? How can the federal government be helped in the fight against corruption?
Thank you very much for the opportunity. I think the fight against corruption is for every citizen, whether you're a member of the government council or you're in the government. We need to be able to put our hands together. It's not only for governments alone, but government has its own responsibilities. We are happy that the present government is committed to fighting corruption. And so if you set out to fighting corruption, we need to get up and really fight corruption. And that means that, when you violate, government is, corruption is a misuse of entrusted power. And if you misuse any deception, any fraud and looting, it needs to attract sanctions. And so our own purpose is to educate Nigerians, is to mobilize massively for Nigerians to get up and ask the right questions, to be part of the process. We know that when the government came into power about 4 years ago, they had their programs about fighting corruption. A lot of voices were trying to pull down the issues of fighting corruption. The government was struggling with it. And we are asking the highest order in the land in terms of levels is the citizen. And so if you're a citizen and you don't know the powers that you have, you will not be able to contribute to fighting corruption. And what we are saying is that if you don't get up where we are, you just have to be part of the process. We have the legal arms, we have ICPC, we have EFCC, we have the fraud units in the police service and a host of others. We need to make sure that these are utilized. One of the things that we need to focus
here, let me jump in here. How does that happen in practice for citizens to fight corruption? We know there are different types of corruption, and there are agencies of government, some of which you've just named, that are responsible for fighting that sort of corruption. Very popular is the war against graft. How do you bring it home for the average Nigerian to even begin to say, okay, I'm going to fight corruption like it's a very big thing?
For the ordinary Nigerian, the way we're looking at it is that we need to start the fight from the household level. We need to be able to repair our homes, because all those in the society that are being accused of corruption or that are corrupt today are a product of the society. And so in the past, when people have things, when you have a children coming home with certain things, parents ask questions: where did you get this from? Where did you get it? When you see another person, some driving a car, and you know that that person is not working, you start looking at what is the person doing. And so we need to be able to interpret. We need to interpret the cost of corruption. What is happening in terms of concentration, the provision of public services like the hospitals, like education. You have other amenities that should be provided that is not being provided. We have constituency projects that parliamentarians are supposed to carry out. People are not asking them the right questions. Citizens also should not be demanding for money from the legislatures, because when you are demanding money from them, it means you are asking them to get money from somewhere. And what you should be demanding is that they are there to go and make laws, make things better for the people. And so accountability is what you demand from them. And if they're not doing well, the next election, they should not come. So we need to look at the issue of the contributions of the citizens. We need to repair ourselves. Because if you don't change your own character, you will not be able to change other people. You will not be able to.
We'll leave it there.
Yeah.
Very well put. Thank you so much for your contribution as far as your perspective is on this issue. Mrs. Ene will be Country Director, Action Aid Nigeria, joining us from Kanu. Much appreciated.